to the PhilAm press conference.
Thank you, Andrew. Good afternoon to all our media personnel present here this afternoon at BCC. Thank you for coming here this afternoon.
Okay, and to complete our panelists for this morning, we have the co-chair of the Executive Committee of the PhilAm Golf Foundation, the Board of Trustee of the PhilAm Golf Foundation, and the General Manager of Baguio Country Club, Sir Anthony Delian. Sir, magandang hapon po.
Good afternoon, Andrew, and thank you for that introduction. My co-panelists, and of course to all of our media friends, especially those who came up all the way from Manila. Welcome to Baguio City and Baguio Country Club. And also welcome to the 74th January's PhilAm Invitational. Just 1 year before we celebrate our 75th anniversary. So something we all look forward to. Good afternoon.
Thank you, Sir Anthony. And of course, first question, sir, for Sir Paulo. Sir Paulo, another year as for Januaryans to be a part of the PhilAm Golf Foundation. Is this the start of a very long relationship between the PhilAm Golf Foundation and Januaryans?
We've been playing the PhilAm for so many years, and it's, I think, one of the best tournaments in the world. Guinness Book of World Records, most number of participants. It boosts tourism, supports sports development, disaster relief, and a lot of educational programs in Baguio. So it's our honor to be a title sponsor and to support the tournament for many more years to come, if they'll have us.
Oh, syempre, always welcome on January, sir. So you see the PhilAm not just as a golf tournament, but the corporate social responsibility projects. You see it as something which is parallel to what January's holding stands for. Parang ganun ba yan, Sir Paulo?
Well, we support a lot of charities back in Manila. But at least with the PhilAm, nakahabol kami ng isang linggo eh.
Tapos kasama pa yung CSR?
Kasama pa yung CSR. So walang konsensya.
So having fun at the same time at nakakatulog pa sa kapwa.
Yes, I think that's, the CSR part of it is a huge part of our sponsorship of the foundation.
Ayun. Siguro, before we proceed with the other panelists, another question for you, Sir Paulo. Yung Januaryos, is it there to win? Do you look forward to a trophy finish all the time, or is just there to represent and enjoy the tournament?
I think with the PhilAm, everyone expects to go home with a trophy. But again, competition is very tough. You have Manila Southwest, you have Eastridge, you have all the other teams. So with us, we just try to prepare as best as we can and go home with a podium finish. Same as last year. Worse last year.
Okay, and championship lap?
Hopefully same as last year for the championship, and then whenever the third team is classified.
So who are the players that we should look forward to carrying the banner of January's for the PhilAm Championship lights?
Well, for the Phil team, it's the same as last year with the addition of Masa Otake. So last year, the team led for 3 days. And then on the last day, there was just an unfortunate incident, signing of the wrong scorecards.
You won.
Yeah. For the championship team, we have Chucky Hong to lead us. We reverted back to amateur status.
Yes. So, big guns for January's. And then, lessons learned yung nangyari last year. 3 years, or three days meeting, and then, you have to always keep your guard up and look at the rules always, not just, so dapat nasa puso yung pag-check lagi yung scorecard before you sign it, din nga yung laging sinasabi nila. But anyway, we look forward to a trophy finish for this year's January's team, and we always thank January's for being a part of the PhilAm. We move on, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Sir Jude, this year, Are we looking at how many teams, how many players will be playing in this year's Philam?
So,
Yes, Sir Anthony. Yeah, anyone
Well,
can answer the
we're
question.
gonna have 260 teams, 5 more teams than that of last year. In terms of total number of registered players, that's more or less around 1,400 players, including their alternates. It's gonna be a tight squeeze, but we're doing everything we can to see to it that we will finish, provided we get some good weather for the duration of the championship. So 260 teams. That's covering for the entire duration of the Philam.
You 2 weeks in Philam, that's 200 plus teams. And how many players are we looking at, sir, with that number of teams? Of course, including the alternates.
More or less about 1,400, about 1,400. I don't have a clear defined number on the number of alternates. So per team is at least composed of 5 players. So more or less there alone, we'll be looking at 1,400 players for the duration.
Sir Anthony, Philam is one of the tournaments. Sabi nga ni Sir Paolo kanina, golfers look forward to being a part of the Philam. Philam is an invitational golf tournament, so you have to be invited to be a part of this tournament. We of course have a limit of number of teams, number of players. Ilan po yung nasa waitlist that are looking forward to be a part of the Philam?
Last time we checked this was over 110 teams over the years, and the list goes longer. So some proposals, and we've been doing some brainstorming here as far as the tournament committee is concerned. So more or less for next year, instead of the typical format of 5 to play, 4 to count, we're now considering 4 to play, 3 to count. So this will open some more opportunities for teams to come in, more players. And the only reason you won't get invited the following year is if you violate, if there was a gross violation of the golf etiquette or the unruly behavior or disrespect to the organizing committee. More or less, those are the reasons why teams are not invited the following year. Aside from that, of course, they'll have to strictly follow the rules of golf in terms of how this is presented by the co-chairs during the team captain's briefing. We are never remiss in reminding the team captains as far as what is expected of them and how they should always brief their players so that there's no confusion or misunderstanding during the tournament proper. Like example, every golfer knows that they have to submit their scorecards in a timely fashion, not bring it home and then say, well, I forgot about it. So that's not going to happen. Those are certain grounds for depending on how they appeal, no? Ganun naman yan eh. So it's grounds for penalties and disqualification. So it's still a long list, but we're finding ways on how we can at least accommodate some of the teams that have been there on the wait list for so many years.
So at the 110 teams, that's more or less around 600 players, no? Yung wishing to be a part
That's right.
of the Philam.
That's right.
So, Sir Jude, what's new for this year, especially for the players of the Philam? What do they look forward to in terms of not just playing, but also yung giveaways? Can you tell us more about that?
Sure. Well, allow me to start first. We recognize the title sponsors and values. Also, I'd like to take this time to give gratitude and thanks to the other sponsors, our event presenters, Brown Company and East Ridge, together with our sponsors that will be part of our giveaway. What's exciting is this is going to be like a showcase of golf products here at BCC for the 19-day duration, as we will have Empire Golf, the distributor of Titleist, be part of it, is would join. Icon Sports, distributor for Peter Millar, G4, and Honma will also be there. Pack Sports, who distributes for Adidas, will be there as a claims group, together with the Paganyan annual presence of Strixon through J10, Grabe Mahua. And then the addition of Three Strokes, an up-and-coming brand. And last but not least, this is on the KNG, yes, KNG. So that's a lot. In fact, that should be something our participants should look forward to. In terms of things to look forward to in the PhilAm, amongst the camaraderie, the grandeur of the city of Hines, playing air-conditioned golf close to the Yuletide season. Both clubs have been working their way into showcasing something else that will make sure that we continually have that demand of enthusiasm from our players and patrons. For Camp John Hay, I can speak of renovations that have been done at Camp John Hay. On hole number 2 in 16, both addresses sustainability project and strategic layout on the renovation of the set holes. We also just finished renovating our practice facility that our patrons for the PhilAm will look forward to, kasi ito na kami magandang driving range and practice facility, and I recently revamped and refurbished Mulligan Bar. So that should be something that they can look forward to, and I will turn over the floor for Sir Anthony. As you guys came here, there's a lot of improvements occurring also at the Baguio Country Club, and it is right and proper for him to explain that.
Oh, okay, thank you. Well, we also renovated our green number 2, and right now we have 4 or 5 penthouse units that we're renovating, including the presidential suite and ambassador suite. We hope to complete them in the next month or so, in time for the PhilAm. We also just completed the resurfacing of our road, phase 1, including the improvement of our main gate. So eventually we will be placing scanners for RFID for our members. Then we have increased the number of lanes and set it backwards, and we don't cause too much traffic in the main entrance. We are also improving some of the facilities inside the clubhouse in terms of the food and beverage outlets, and the restrooms. We have completely refaced the restrooms. The balance that we have right now is here, the restroom of the Kamada restaurant. For golfers who bring their family and pets, we're completing our pet cafe right beside the pet hotel, so we're very pet friendly here. And also we're going to do some more projects of the club next year, including the improvement of our halfway house.
And I think one thing that golfers should look forward to also is yung rehab clinic namin where we have a therapist.
That's right.
And then a doctor.
But yes, we started on that one as far as the structure is concerned. But that will be completed by March of next year. In the meantime, we have a temporary facility for our wellness and rehab, physical rehab it's at the basement of the ballroom. So we have a retained doctor there and 3 licensed physical therapists. So if they have some injuries or bone shoulders or any problem with their muscle, nerve, and bone, we have the services available here at BCC.
So in short, Anthony, there's a lot to look forward to on 74th, but a lot more on the 75th.
That's right.
And siguro, sir, you'll allow us, maybe the media can have a look at probably the Mulligan Bar once they're there, particularly Mulligan Bar, so that you could have a look. Because it's a sight to see, no? It's very nice to drink there. We're looking at the golfers tee off at hole number 15. And then dito naman siguro, if we have time later, we can tour you to the penthouse units that we have. So makita namin, and even yung ongoing pet cafe and then other improvements that we're doing. Sir, yung kalimutan ko yung dates, ito yung mga importante na dapat tandaan ng ating mga televiewers, yung ating mga listeners. The dates that they look forward to for the PhilAm, Sir Jude?
Yeah, okay. Well, the official dates of the Philam would be November 26 to December 14. The senior schedule will be on November 26 to December 4, and then the regular schedule will be on December 5 to 14. So there, if you notice, there's a one-day gap. There's a reset, as we like to call it. It's a rest day, but it gives us time to rehabilitate the course, and of course, we'd like to have our staff take a break.
How about the classifications, sir, for this year's Philam? We look forward to, of course, in the past, there were teams that were under the flight G. May mga G pa tayo mga flight noon, sir. And then seniors natin, medyo konti lang. I think, if I remember back in the days, there were only championship flight A, B, and C. Kumusta po yung classifications this year, Sir Ju?
Well, certainly, you're right. The demographics of golfers has changed and evolved over the last several years. Taking cognizance of that, we've added a division on the seniors. And in essence, our seniors that will be playing from November 26 to December 4 are classified from championship to flight E. So ang seniors division natin, umabot na ng flight E. And that's exciting, you know. The senior players 55 and above, there's still a lot of competitors out there. And those that are in limbo from age 50 to 54 have something to look forward to in getting their competitive juices flowing. But that will be for the seniors league. In fact, I believe 2 days ago, the tournament secretary released the first tournament advisory announcing which part of the men's regular flight F will be joining the seniors, composing of 129 teams the first week, and then to be followed by about 131 teams the following week.
Yun. So we have, for seniors, we have Phil and Am po yan, we have championship A, B, C, D, and E. And for the regulars, again, for Phil and Am, we have championship flights. We have A, B, C, D, E, and F. If I remember right,
Wala nang G.
Wala nang G. No, may H pala, sir.
Correct.
Umabot pa yun sa
Umabot pa
H
ng
yung
H yan.
Napunta na po sa senior.
So, ibig sabihin, no, yung mas dumadami ba yung seniors?
No, not quite. We had a discussion in our tournament executive committee of trying to entice, not only are we providing an atmosphere for competition, but we wanted to have healthy competition. By placing the cap rule of 28, 21 and above are not being qualified to play in the Philam. Will drastically reduce that. You can call it as a barrier for entry, but we call it making the tournament a bit more competitive. At the same time, it's not as if we do have a problem of waitlisted teams and participants. So, and as far as I'm concerned, me and my co-chair will continue to embrace the invitational. Seem to it that the competition level is there because it's still a tournament at the end of the day.
Okay, hole-in-one prizes. What do we look forward to, sir, in terms of hole-in-one prizes?
For a hole-in-one, we have a car, Toyota Race, 2 units. And then also hole-in-one golf carts from Get-Go, 2-seaters, providing 2 units. We also, these are the special prizes. Then golf sets, we have Titleist iron set, and golf apparel and exciting gadgets. So these are but basically for the hole-in-one, we have a Toyota Race, 2 units. The grand raffle prize would be a Toyota Race, 2 units, so we raffle that 1 per week.
So one golfer for every week is going home with a brand new car, a brand new Toyota Race. At mamaya, dito sa ating press con, one friend from the media is going home with a brand new people helping certain sectors of the community. Ang Philam po, kumusta po yung ating mga projects and what have we been busy for the past year?
Okay, as a member of the original objectives of the Finland Foundation, and one of which was to support the June golf, and this year we had close to 100, about 96 to be exact, participants for the June golf competition. We're like 96, am I correct? And then hopefully by next year, when we do this again, we hope to increase the numbers every year. Also, we donated to the Autism Hearts Foundation. This is done every year as an advocacy of the foundation, and also a Give Me a Book Foundation, to an NGO that provide support to children and provide books, so we funded their endeavor. No different from the Autism Hearts Foundation, we also funded their endeavor. It's an annual thing. So in the past, we have also funded something like 5 million for the fencing of the watershed, Luzon watershed, which eventually we'd like to see that happen from the beneficiary, because they have not started that one, but I haven't forgotten it. Okay.
Be careful, there is a media about
I'm not. That's a polite reminder for the recipients.
And Sir Jude, yung kumusta naman po yung isa na
Philab Junior Invitational, which is an exciting endeavor that is supported by the Philab Foundation. Because that's where you would really see grassroots programs that would provide avenues for competition for these young players. For me, as a product of the junior golf endeavor, the Junior Golf Foundation in the Philippines, it's nice. I look at it as a way that, even for me personally, it's a give back to see to it that we can run a golf tournament that will be fun, built between the synergism of both BCC and RMA, and show what we can do. And I'm interested in making it big to the point that we will have other Southeast Asian junior players come and play that. That is my goal for 2025. In fact, in January, or sometime early part of next year, I do intend to ask the other National Golfers Association of Southeast Asian neighboring countries and ask them to send their top players to come here in Baguio and play in our Philippine invitation. That is a long-term goal. That is something I foresee that we can do, and that should entice our local junior players to hone up their skills and see to it we can compete at an international scale. And to add, again, it was mentioned earlier, the other activities that have been crucial in the CSR Foundation. You know, the Give Me a Book Foundation helping out 52 schools in lending the books. Those are all schools here in Benguet. It's not just about having help. It has to be deeply rooted here, where we are located here in Benguet, here specifically in Baguio. And ganun din po yung Children Autism Hearts Foundation. You know, when you're helping out kids here up north, and they become productive members, productive citizens, even if they have ailments, it's a worthwhile endeavor, and we're proud to be part of that. So, as Paula said, you get an opportunity to play, you have an opportunity to compete, and by doing so, you get their help. It's a long way.
yung sa international competitions, like for example, the Olympic basketball, where of course we also did well, no, in the eliminations. But then again, there's a bigger chance, they say, for Filipinos to get a gold in golf. Our ladies did well, no? Bianca and Miss Dottie, and even their male counterparts. Is there a chance, probably for Philab and probably Januarius to support the Olympians for golf in the coming Olympics?
Perspective in terms of the growth of the boom in the game. I was just discussing this to our Manila sports editors, how golf is primed right now to entice youth. Riyad Malik won the U.S. Junior Amateur and U.S. Women's Amateur in the same year. Sasso, a two-time U.S. Open champion, the recent performance of Bianca and Dottie in the Olympics. And we have Rico Hoey, a Filipino now on the PGA Tour. Phil-Am alone is part of this. Tom Kim, a past champion of the Phil-Am Invitational, played in the President's Cup and making names on the PGA Tour. For our media, we are primed to really take off. I can't speak for Januarius sponsoring and seeing to it that our Olympians, our golfing Olympians will be taken care of. But I know they have players under their wing, under their care, that are competing in the pro circuit that are backed by Januarius Holdings. So what I would say is, yes, the Phil-Am Invitational has some semblance of opportunity to be involved in that growth. We'd like to foster it together with the board of trustees of Phil-Am. I don't see a single person in not supporting that and agree with me that golf is in a beautiful position of growth and will continue to do so in the next succeeding years. And it's exciting to be a young junior player right now in the country in Green because there are avenues for you to choose.
Sir Paolo?
We're still trying to figure out how to par number 11 of DCC. So I believe the big picture to Jude and the governing body like NCAP. I mean, we're still worried on how to score a point at hole number 11.
And number 9 of Camp Johnny.
And number 9 of Camp. We don't like to be part of that statistic every year. Number of pickups.
Okay.
So but we're happy to support sports in general. If you look at the top pros or even the top amateurs, they all played in the Phil-Am a long time ago. Jay Pyro, I know used to have the record here, 12 under. 12 under for 4 days.
So verify that.
Yeah, I remember that. Everyone else, Mars Mukai,
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So, the Phil-Am is a really good region round. And it's a tournament where
Jubik Pagulsan also.
Jubik Pagulsan. And you'll see golfers from different levels able to watch and experience these top amateurs play the course. The same league that they do. So, I mean, the golf is a big part of it, but for the golfer, it's a different experience kasi from preparation to the games, the fellowship, and everything in between. So that's why it's such a great tournament.
Yeah. But how you figured out hole number 11?
I'll let you know after the tournament.
Okay. So, yeah, there are big names that were part of the Phil-Am who made it. So, these are things that most of us take for granted, no? Na hindi natin pinapansin ng araw. But look at the names now, and they're there on top, and they have brought honor to the country. So we now open the floor to our press from the media who have some questions. Anybody from the media? Then yung microphone, sabihin nila, pupunta ako sa inyo. Mia, you have a question for us? Yes?
How does the Phil-Am usually impact on tourism and other hotel and restaurant related
Well,
issues?
the Phil-Am has been with us for 74 years now this year, and basically the age club event of the Hotel and Restaurant Tourism Week is relatively new in terms of holding its activity. On the other hand, it's a good time where at the last quarter of every year, we have a continuous succession of events. So it provides an opportunity for especially the accommodation sector, the restaurant sector, including the market sector, that all of these visitors and tourists, including the participants with their families and friends that come up to Baguio, that's a lot of opportunity for visiting Baguio for tourism. keeps the engine of the business moving. On the other hand, that's why it's quite important that such activities, including and especially the organizers, do not take for granted that whenever you hold an activity or an event, considering its importance of making it sustainable and is in line with the community's objective of making us environmentally friendly and resilient. So even though you do have some visitors during the HVAC event and now for the film, in one form or another, we always support sustainable environmental practices so that we just do not invite tourists and their family or friends to come up without at least mitigating some of the concerns of the community when it comes to our city being occupied by a lot of visitors, and we know the consequences of the problems it has when you have so many visitors in the city.
Thank you. On the technical side, how are changes in eligibility requirements and handicap verification impacting the participation of long-time competitors, especially among the seniors?
Well, that's a very valid question. It does have an effect, especially some players who don't have immediate access to WHS private club memberships. But there is an app you can get a WHS number by just going through their website and be part of the NCD. You don't need to have private meetings. My co-chair here can tell you the days how difficult it really is to validate handicaps from back in the day when you were doing this, with just going through the words of club certification. But we all have to be forward thinkers. We have, if our national governing association for the game of golf is espousing this move with WHS, then us who conduct tournaments have to support it and will support it and align to it for unity. In terms of imposing limits on handicaps, yes, it's something that we've considered carefully. However, it's for the betterment of the tournament. So any alterations that we do in the terms of competition, it's weighed heavily, carefully, but always for the betterment of the tournament.
Next, June, next time, that's all.
Thank you very much, Mia. And your question, Mia, about tourism, that's very true because most of the players of the Asia Pacific region would always bring their families with them. For the teams themselves, have their own CSRs, especially yung mga balikbayans natin. They have adopted certain schools in the community where they regularly visit and donate books, notebooks, and other school materials. I believe there are two teams. I think in Washington, Silicon Valley and yung Washington team, they have adopted yung ating orphanage dito. So my, about that orphanage here. Yung dito sa my, dito ko, yes. I believe they donated some appliances, like washing machine, to make things easy for those that are taking care of them. So yung mga ganung bagay, napakalaki. It is a religious group, and I forgot the name, but it's something related to religion. Yes, I think. Yeah, so, yun, maraming nakakatulong.
Bethesda.
Yes. Oh, yun. Yeah, that's it. So, malaking bagay yung nagagawa din ng mga players natin on their own. So, are there any other questions from our colleagues from the media? Dexter, you have a question? Dexter, inaabot na ni Dexter yung mic. RLG yan, mamaya mag-alis sila.
Yeah. Regarding our corporate social responsibility, are we leaving it to our conduits, especially the Give Me a Book Foundation, to which schools to donate the books, or we are also identifying our priorities.
Well, the proposal of the Give Me a Book Foundation to the Film Foundation was that they were soliciting an amount and they presented the beneficiaries. So all of this was reviewed by the Board of Trustees after some bit of interview with the proponent, and eventually the trustees agreed to their objective of providing the books to the beneficiaries. So it's not necessarily that just because an NGO or a foundation wants to solicit the help of the Philan Foundation, they will be the ones who will solely decide who the beneficiaries are. This would still be subject to screening and concurrence of the trustees as to who the beneficiaries are. So that's how it went.
Is the Philan Foundation open to other interested partners or CSR projects?
Yes, we are. We also, sabi ko nga, we've been doing this for so many years now, and people just think that Philan is just a golf and a tournament. But in fact, we've been doing a lot of CSR, but we don't really come up with publicity on these things that we do. So we're open to partnerships. But generally, we'd like to have the beneficiaries to be within the Port Rivieras. So either in Baguio or Benguet, the two closest cities and regions that we have here.
Sir, are you at liberty to divulge the amount? Given to
We'll just say with the foundation gave support to the Give Me a Book Foundation. Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dexter. We now go to the question of Mr. Adrian Flores.
Fifth year. Kasi yung Department of Tourism is now pushing for golf tourism. Has the DOT reached out to the Philan?
Ako, my personal opinion with regards to that, I would rather have the Philan Foundation and the organizers contribute in any way we can for the development of the sport and the tourism industry, with due respect to DOT. Okay, so hanggang doon na muna ako. That's my personal position on the matter. Because there are some things that I have not forgotten as far as partnerships with DOT is concerned. So I would rather Baguio Country Club and Camp Johnny Golf Club, including the Philan Foundation, undertake whatever development we choose to have in terms of promoting golf tourism and our focus on development of the sport. With due respect to them.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
It's so unique in its own. It's unlike anything in the country. The amount of work from the Secretary's office to both properties, the synergism and alliances and bonds that form between the workforce of both parties. I mean, it's something else. When you bring another third wheel factor into it, that with a level of dictation, that might get a little difficult. So, again, I can't thank enough how this whole thing comes about in the making of the Philan, how important that is. The synergism and the alliances and the meeting of the minds between the two entities is crucial. And I just wanted to say, and I greatly appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Adrian. We now go to the question of Mr. Pigeon Lobien.
Walang scorecard.
Magandang hapon po. So, isa pa, sa championship po, who are we expecting? Do we have, especially the young ones? Kasi yung mga ko, nag-graduate na sila, Rupert na sa professional na, most of them. So, sino po ina-expect po natin ngayon?
Well, let's for the regular divisions, since we're talking about young players, right? Obviously, the biggest question is who can formulate the key formula to dethrone Southwoods? Southwoods powerhouse is coming up to its 10th title defense this year. I think they won 9 straight. And to answer Pigeon the question directly, what are we looking at? The inclusion now of East Ridge. They are undertaking what Luisita tried to do with the Tompkins back then. They are trying to have the conglomeration of players from the South training in East Ridge to put a tournament against the Southwood players. But I also want to thank the skipper to my right, John Wires Holdings, got some key potential players that may put some excitement to the field champion and champ competition. As some of your players were some of my contemporaries. They may not be young, that's what you would say, but they're still competitive guys. So the key question is, coming up, who may put a threat to Southwood's 10th title defense? Is East Ridge or Januarius gonna have enough experienced players to put the numbers to compete against the perennial powerhouse of Southwoods? Now, how about the seniors? Right? Luisita seniors division is strong, and Southwoods has their back against the wall against Luisita for the seniors. And who will be that? You know, the Manila-based seniors from international players have been in contention before. But to answer you directly, I think this year will be exciting. I don't know how strong Southwoods is. They've lost some players as well. They're still very strong.
Very strong.
Okay, they're still very strong.
Check the national team.
Okay. But it's exciting, right? You know, we're all looking for that Cinderella story who will land that knockout punch, but it'll be a big Goliath for Southwoods here. Listen to that, Paolo?
Well, if there's one thing we do add a lot of experience, it's we're all pretty much almost at the senior level already in a few years. So.
Speak for yourself.
Sir, 75 next year, are you not planning anything special, like a reunion of alumni of like those who compete in the national or international scene, like Tom Kim in the US now, or Mars Bugay coming back, or Frankie Vignosa just played, or the record-setting sila Pagunsan, I should say, Las Cunha and Sinfredo back in 94, when they set the record for for the team. Aren't you, or even just a one-day event?
Look, all of this you just said are possible. But of course, we're still going to brainstorm that with the tournament committee and the foundation. But what we need to do is gotta be more than that. That's what we promise the players, because it's going to be very fortunate for the teams to join the Philan's 75th anniversary. That would be something memorable. You know, how often we participate in a golf tournament celebrating 75 years, especially at this magnitude. So it's got to be more than just a reunion. You got to consider the prizes that will be involved. Not just the hole-in-one or the raffle, but even for the trophies. We will have to redo everything, the way we do things. So it's going to be quite challenging for the organizing committee.
Very challenging.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Pigeon. Siguro magandang question kay Sir Paolo. Since you, of course, had to play both courses for several years already, playing competitive in the Phil-Am, how would you describe both courses, Camp Johnny and Baguio Country?
Ako, Your Honor, I cannot recall. Well, again, like we mentioned before, no, the Philam presents a very unique experience, even the way both courses are. For the first timers, they look at PCC. How many times have you heard people say, puro part 3 lang yan, madali lang yan, ako, patay kayo dyan. So it's a different experience talaga. I would say BCC is more of a challenge to a lot of people, especially yung number 11. Parang nakikita ko na nga 11 from here.
Bakit mo ko na laro yung 11? Next one, skip ka na.
Skip ka talaga. Kasi hindi masira yung the rest of the game, pero pick up na lang.
Yeah, and then every year, I don't know how Jude does it, but he comes up with a different challenge every year. Every year during practice rounds, bigla na lang may bagong team. Humabang na naman dito sa to. And then I don't know, this makes it a lot more challenging and more difficult. So every year is a different challenge for both courses.
Yun nga, that's very true because they would say na, oh yun, Johnny, why do you pair race na? Pero pagdating sa group, 3 putts, 4 putts, diba? Yung birdie, yung magiging bogey pa, so from B to B and things like that. So both courses have their unique personalities, eka nga. So, which is, of course, always a challenge to broad na teams natin if we have data on this. And even an estimate review would work. And youngest golfer that has played in the Phil-Am and the oldest golfer that has played in the Phil-Am.
Well, for the foreign teams, usually we average around 30 teams in the Asia Pacific region. It's generally, but the majority are the local teams. But we have 30 teams coming from abroad.
For the first week or for the entire?
For the entire.
Okay, so 30 teams from Asia Pacific region, Australia, Japan, US, Hawaii,
South Korea, Japan.
yes. Roan, youngest player that has played in the Phil-Am.
Parang 9, Marco Angheng is playing, so he's 8 years old.
8 years old for this year is the youngest player. He is the son of Aison Angheng, tama? That's Marco Angheng. He is 8 years old. And the old
There was a play instances of Brent na parang 90 plus before bumasang was
Bumasang.
Sila kay Rufino. Sila kay Rufino.
Pino.
Si Doc
Rufino
si Rufino.
Bumasang.
Si Rufino.
Before.
No, so, oh, yung parang pastor yata siya.
No, he's an engineer.
Engineer.
Ba? Okay. Yeah, so anyway, may question ka. Final question from our good friend